Okay, we're going to take a quick glance at September and then move our focus forward to October. First things first, dashboard. The page views for the last 30 days are actually very good. 7.85 or 785, which is fantastic. Bounce rate is way down, which is even better. Bounce rate is essentially when somebody clicks through to your website, how quickly they click away. And typically what you're going to see with that is between 70 and 80%. 55% is great. It means you're lower than the average. You're getting some additional things on the organic searches based on some of the changes that I had made. And then the pages per session are 1.87. So people are not just viewing one page on your site, they're viewing multiple pages, which is great per visit. So we definitely want to keep that up. The next thing I want to draw your attention to is users. And with that, what we're going to look at really fast is you've got 3,404 subscribers to your site. That's great. We've increased it by 1,000 since last month. I would like to continue to increase that probably by another 1,000 this month. Did notice a couple things when I was doing some maintenance today. First off, on your plugins, there was about 14 that needed updating. There was also a conflict in between a few plugins, so I went in and did some work to correct that. And what it was causing was actually on your home page this form to look very unprofessional, not really what I wanted, as far as a welcome mat for a client to see at all. So that is something that I went in and corrected. There are some other things I have as notes that I definitely want to correct as we move forward into October. But really that's just kind of going over some of the things that we have to look at as much as numbers on the site. Traffic is going up. Users is going way up, which is fantastic. We definitely want to keep that going. Getting comments as well, which is great. Posts seem to be performing well with the different posts that are being pulled in from other sites, which is great. And like this one, however, the problem is some of these that it's pulling in are pulling in from other sites that are actually other attorneys who are taking the time to blog on other sites that are being pulled into yours. So that's something that I want to get to, but that's going to be as part of the site updates as well. So getting into looking forward into October and beyond, the first thing I did was I wanted to kind of go back and say, how can we improve and how can we refocus our efforts on the site? Now, what we're getting in as much as social shares is good, especially social shares on Facebook and LinkedIn. Because those two are performing so strong, I really do kind of want to get rid of the Facebook send via private message. That doesn't seem to really be doing a lot for us. I'm probably also going to kill Google Plus, as that is clearly a dying technology. I'd like to see a little bit more about why Twitter is failing in this regard, because your Twitter account, as we'll see later in the analytics that I go over, is performing very well. It just doesn't seem that a lot of Twitter users, for whatever reason, are sharing the site. So I need to figure out how we're going to improve upon that. Now, with that being said, what I did was I looked up pretty much all of the top competitors in as much as, website and website presence to your own. So a few things that I want to review with you. This was one of your top competitors. Now, what was interesting about this is their website doesn't look even nearly as good as yours, but they are taking out Google AdWords ads, so that does help them in their organic ranking. Another one that actually was of note that I think I would like to model a little bit of some of the changes I'm going to propose to the site upon is going to be this particular site right here. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was kind of revamping your footer to be a little bit more like this. I think it looks a little bit better and more professional, a little bit slicker than what we have. This one was another one of your competitors, and one of the things that I wanted to do here was kind of shrink down some of the things that we've utilized on your site to showcase all of your different achievements and awards and accolades, but to make it just a little bit more palatable in as much as like what I did in the beginning, where I kind of shrunk these things down to match. What I want to do is center this on the bottom and then add things like this, the Super Lawyers badge, and then the most recent one that I'm promoting on your social media that you sent to us, in addition to the other ones that you shared. So I definitely want to focus a little bit more on that. And then a little bit more content is what I would like to add to some of your practice areas, some of the other things there, and then put some kind of smart call to actions in there as well to really kind of bring up your inbound marketing. I do need to still log into your MailChimp and see where we're at with that. But another thing that I would like to do is I'm looking at my notes here. After reviewing the top 3 competitors to your site, what I'm looking at is fixing the menu font a little bit, making this bolder, just kind of making it pop out a little bit more. Adjusting some of the spacing on your homepage. I would like it to space out a little bit better, and I'm just not happy with the way that it looks, so I'd like to improve upon that. Fix the spacing on the homepage. Fix the social share like I had spoken about over here for relevancy. I really also am toying with the idea of changing up these icons a little bit. I want to make them a little bit bolder, a little bit more eye-catching. It blends a little bit too much into the background as it stands right now, so I might even want to change up the background just to make it pop a little bit more, make it more of this color that you have up here in the header that I'm scrolling over right now. And then fix the footer and awards pages like I had pointed out a few minutes ago. You have some additional testimonials I noticed on the Facebook page that you have, which is great, so I definitely want to get those added to the site. And then another thing that I think is definitely needed, and this is a really quick fix on my end, is adding terms and conditions and a privacy policy just down here at the bottom, where we can have kind of a little separate navigational menu. So I want to really kind of focus on that a little bit and just making it a little bit cleaner, nicer, prettier to look at, and a little bit slicker so that you are going to get the best and most optimum results possible. So those are a few things that I want to work on there. I'll quickly shoot some information about where you're at on Facebook, some changes that I want to make with that, and then as well as going over your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and really focusing forward, especially as we move into the new year, on more of an inbound marketing strategy that we can automate so that you're not feeling overworked and like you're getting more business than you can handle, but being able to really filter down and bring in the type of client that you want without having to go through a bunch of additional extra steps to get there or even have your assistant do that. So I do have a strategy for that. I just kind of wanted to go over some of the things that I think we can definitely do better, because there's always room for improvement, and really just kind of build upon an inbound marketing strategy that's going to help you really hit this next year running completely fast forward without having to do any extra work to get there. Okay, so first let's take a look at Facebook, and we'll take a look at the analytics. But before I get too far into that, I wanted to show you that there's a new look and feel to what your Facebook administration page actually looks like. So this is what it looks like now as opposed to what it looked like before, where your picture used to be in this little corner right here. It's actually over to the left-hand side. Now, this gives me a little bit of creative licensing to kind of redo the timeline photo, make it pop a little bit more. I want to add just something a little bit more warm, welcoming, kind of family oriented with it, but kind of keeping along with the theme, and then being able to incorporate your magic statement into a new graphic, I think is vital. Another couple things I'd actually like to do is, as we add things to this, I'd like to definitely, yes, keep the website on the timeline photo, change up the font a little bit, and then also add email and telephone to that. Now, with that being said, there's some work that I need to do on the Facebook page moving forward. And one of the things you can see that I did post, and I actually pinned this to the top of the page because I really want to get the reach out on this, where you do have this award, and then, of course, promoting the website back from this award, which I think is good as well. And as you can see here, the reach on this has been phenomenal. Now, what has been difficult is getting additional likes to the page. And I'll go over that as we go into analytics in a little bit. I listed some of the services that you offer. I think we can probably expand on these a little bit. And I would like to expand on these a little bit. Just kind of go from there, but at least giving people kind of a showcase of what your services are. And then your about page is something else that we can go over. Your about page just gives you an overview Gives people the username. I think hours of operation would be a good thing to add. And then, adding, say, start date from your LinkedIn profile. And above and beyond that, that's actually pretty well done. And as much as we've been able to keep up with the awards, the things of that nature, I do want to make the subscribe for updates a little bit more of a focal point to see if we can drive some more subscribers from your Facebook page direct to your MailChimp, because email marketing is definitely something I think we need to integrate into your strategy moving forward. I think that's going to really do well for you, and as much as being able to solicit additional reviews from past clients, as well as, touch on clients as far as different things you're offering each month, or spotlighting different things each month. And that's another part of the strategy that I want to go into. As opposed to just focusing on one legal area, being able to spotlight different things and different services that you offer so that we're able to capture and connect with a larger audience. I.e., for, say, 1 week we'll focus on divorce, another week we can focus on estate planning, another week we can focus on wills, you being a subject matter expert upon why those things are important. There is a new tool that I have taken part in that I think will be incredibly helpful to you. It's called Articulo. And what this can allow us to do is create content that is legal and relevant, that we can post to your site so that you're getting the benefit of things being posted directly from you. And I think that is something that has definitely been lacking, because I know there's a time crunch there. So I really would like to be able to incorporate some of that and at least test it out to see how your audience responds to it. And I feel like the audience will respond to it very well. So with that being said, the next thing I want to go into is there's a couple new features that Facebook has added that I think are definitely beneficial to you. The first would be messaging. One big problem is we don't get a whole lot of messages on your page. Now, there's other clients I represent who do get quite a bit of contact on their Facebook page. So what I'm thinking is there is a way that I have done this. I've already set up a automatic message. So if someone is to message you on your Facebook page, what happens is I'm redirecting them to the website, as you can see here. I can also add the office number, which I think is definitely a good thing. And then I also want to add a messenger greeting so that if somebody is going to message you online, they get, a hello, kind of a little welcome mat as well, to be able to add that. I think that's definitely a big plus. Cross-spotting or cross-posting is something that is relevant to video. I know there hasn't been a lot of opportunity to do video in the past. There are some things and some ways I think we can get around that without getting too deeply into your time. And I think that that's definitely something we need to look into. And then preferred page audience. I think that's also something we needed to discuss. As I go into kind of the insights and the demographics, I would like to change some of the things about the preferred page audience that you have to hyper focus what we're trying to do to attract the type of client you want in an easier manner organically. And then another thing we are definitely going to have to talk about is taking out some ads. So bear with me for just 1 second as we go into your Facebook insights. Okay, so just giving you a quick overview. We have had a hell of a lot of success in the past week. And that's been since I posted the award that you recently won. I actually love looking at these type of numbers. These get me a little excited. It did end up in a page like. I would like to see more on this. Page views, yes, it definitely did. Your reach was up 21,000% compared to the past 7 days. 21,000% is huge. Engagement is down, but I'm not as worried about that as I want to see you being able to reach a larger audience. And I'm starting to see that, which is definitely good news because this has been a 100% organic campaign. You have your award up at the top of the page. The solicitations that I have made as far as people being able to get this. Now, this is something I really wanted to draw your attention to, because one thing that I pushed hard, and the reason I did this was I was seeing some other national attorneys kind of push this rather hard, is things that are a little bit local to you, but also photos. People really reacted well to being able to see photos on your page. It got us more reach. It got us more engagement. Having things that we're talking about, the only thing that you offer in San Antonio, or the things that you are doing differently. This is the stuff that is getting and really bringing in the numbers that we've been missing. And this was something that I only really started experimenting with on your page last month, because I had seen the reaction and response on larger national pages. And I think it's definitely something we need to continue. But what I would like to do to continue it, since I know now that it is completely successful and it is bringing in more reach and engagement, is being able to localize it more to you, and localize it more to things you have said, taking your magic statement, for example, and making it into a graphic, I think is a great way to start. So, just kind of taking it from that marketing perspective, but also being able to showcase your success and what you have done very well with. All right, so now let's talk about who you want to target. This is a particularly new report that Facebook has added that I really think is incredibly beneficial, because it shows me when to post the absolute best content, how and why. And what I think is interesting about this is your hotspot right now on Facebook is your demographic between 25 and 34. I would like to expand this between 25 and 54. I think it's very doable, and I think it's going to bring in more of the type of client that you're looking for as well. Now, here's another thing that's interesting. 12 p.m. is your peak time. When I have been posting has been at 9, 12, typically, and 3. But I'm really going to kind of continue that, but I'm going to switch it up to 11, 12, and 1, because that's when the majority of your fan base is online. Now, if you take a look at this, 18 to 24, that's 12% of your marketing numbers. 26 to 34, that makes up 33%. And then we've got a really good fan base growing here between 35 and 44, and even 45 and 54. So we're really hitting the sweet spot that we want. Now, if we break it down by gender, this is particularly interesting to me as well. You're attracting almost equal numbers. Believe it or not, you're attracting more men to your page than women to your page. So I'm particularly interested to see how that will translate into retainers for you, and different people that it will affect for your business. So it really is a great way for us to be able to dissect when and what needs to be posted, and how. So I think that that's definitely a big deal. Now, this is another tool that I wanted to show you. Your reach over the past few days, as I've been making some tweaks, has been specifically larger. And as new things are being pulled into your blog and posted, that's when you see your organic reach peak. So I think that that is also incredibly important to note. Okay, this is your Twitter account, and the reason I'm throwing up this page is I'm showing you I have to have, if you don't mind, your verification of your phone number. We were locked out of Twitter for a while. It even happened to my own personal account and our business account as well, because I didn't verify the phone number. So what's going to happen is I'm going to click this right now, verify my phone number, and what that's going to do is ask you to verify your phone number. So it's sending a text verification code to that number. Let me know when that happens, and just send me that code, and then that way I can fix what I have to fix on my end. Now, with that being said, I do want you to see this. So Your Twitter, believe it or not, is growing. And it's growing every single week. I've been using the assistance of something called Crowdfire app. It really has been helpful. People are really responding well on Twitter as well. So I think that that's definitely a big thing for you. And I think there's definitely some growth potential there. I mean, literally, I can't log into your Twitter account without getting at least 20 new notifications every single time. And we've got people who are retweeting you on divorce. People who, dating begins at 40. That's huge for you and your demographic. That's definitely a hot spot for you and definitely a sweet spot. I mean, they've got almost 2,000 followers, so that's giving you not just your follower exposure, but an additional 2,000 people on top of that. So this is a really good way to be able to get your business. And as you can see, My Legal Guy and Dating Begins at 40, they really like what you're having to say. So that's a big deal. And, Married and Divorced is following you. Health After 50 is liking you. So it's really bringing in a lot of that demographic that I've been wanting to attract for the longest time. So this is really working. It's really starting to click. There are a few things as well with Twitter that I want to tweak a little bit, in as much, again, as, the header photo. We're doing great on tweets. We're doing great on following. We're doing good on followers. I'm going to switch the bio up just a little bit to include some additional keywords that I think are definitely vital. And then, following more people every day and having more people following you is exactly what we've been looking for, and it's really starting to work quite well in that regard. So I want it to be able to bring you some more business and be able to prove that ROI. But really, it's still at this point, until we get to over, at least 1,000 followers, it's really just kind of going in and me manually doing some growth hacking to get you where I know you can be. I'm going to dive just a little bit deeper into your Twitter analytics. Your top tweet, again, has been what you asked me to post, in as much as showing the expertise badge, which is great. Photos, big on Twitter. Photos are big everywhere. So I really want to focus on that a little bit. Your impressions are good. You're actually reaching almost about 100% of your audience, which is fantastic. One thing I am going to add as we move forward in October is putting Twitter cards in. Twitter cards actually work a lot like a business card. It's something that's going to get people back to your website, engaging with you a little bit more often, and that's great. As you can see here, you had a lot of things that worked well in September. Your top tweet was one of the blogs that was pulled into your blog that was posted. You've got people who have a large following now following you, and having those retweets and mentions and engagement is fantastic. Believe it or not, the photo that you didn't like got some of the best engagement possible. One of the reasons that I really wanted to experiment with that was because I wanted to see how that would work with your audience and who was going to respond to that. And as you can see here, the numbers were fantastic. So I really think photos are definitely a way we need to go. And the way that I really want to implement this is being able to incorporate some really great graphics with some of the things that we're importing. And that's just going to take some work on your site on my end. But I can tell right here that it's great. And you're getting things like what's happening that I am really excited about is you're getting focused results. When you're looking at these things like HQ niche or things like that, it's people who are pulling in what we're putting out, and they're putting it out to their following. So that's expanding your reach over and over and over again. Ultimately, what we're wanting to do here is drive traffic to the site, get your phone to ring, and get you more clients. So, when we're able to push out content that is high quality and it's being featured in these different publications, that is fantastic, because you were featured based on a lot of the content that we posted here. And that's a really, really, really positive thing. And I think definitely it's growing, and it's a great way to go. I mean, we're only a few days into October and you've already got 8 new followers. Um, and we really haven't tweeted that much in October, which is fantastic. I love the fact that we're getting more followers, that we're getting all of these different tweet impressions, that people are visiting your profile. I mean, that's fantastic. That's really kind of giving people a welcome mat. So I just want to enhance the profile a little bit, just enhance your presence a little bit to continue to grow that momentum. Okay, so just a few things on LinkedIn. Definitely want to start growing this, as well as we are definitely gaining additional traction on this. 14 people in the past 90 days have viewed your profile, and you've gone up by 13% in rank in the past 15 days, which is great. And as you can see here, you've got 30 pending invitations from people who want to connect with you on LinkedIn. Now, here's the only problem I see with this. When I click on pending invitations, while it is wonderful that people who are in your field want to connect with you, here's the problem I have. The problem I have is that the majority of them are attorneys, and you can't necessarily sell attorney services to attorneys. Now, absolutely, you can trade referrals. I get how that goes. But I think that these different people who are coming from different walks of life would definitely be beneficial for you. For example, somebody I would highly recommend that you connect with is Debbie Overland, with Special Lives. She does a lot of child advocacy. I know that is right up your alley. So that is somebody I would really love to see you connect with. And she would be very, I think, receptive to a lot of the work that you do. So I think that is definitely a good thing. So I'll take care of all of this. One thing I do want to point your attention to, because my business is marketing, not your business. But what I do want to draw your attention to is you've got 36 messages on LinkedIn that haven't been responded to. I don't know if you want me to respond to those, or if you want me to, go through them and decipher what's important and then send you what's important. But that's something that I need to know moving forward so I can do my job better. So that's really all I'm looking at there. But I'll take care of the pending invitations. I'll accept all of the invitations. Make sure that you're connected appropriately, and then kind of move the LinkedIn process forward. I like to see the fact that this is growing, and this is definitely a big plus. So I think that there's a lot of things that we can do there. One thing I would even recommend is, there's a lot of opportunity out there with the real estate community for you to connect when there's somebody who is considering selling their home because, of getting a divorce, or, maybe upselling because, or, upgrading their home, or even downgrading their home due to, children moving in, moving out, child custody issues, and things of that matter. So I think that there's some connections that can be beneficial there. And, just some other different types of connections that I think would be beneficial, that would complement the work that you do, as opposed to being in direct competition with you. So that's something to just consider, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Other than that, I will be sending over, after I finish this report, strategy for you to look at moving forward in October and kind of ramping up to the new year. So I will get that over to you as soon as this is published. And if you have any questions, please let me know.